Hi there, this is Anne Marie with Light Happy Life. I'm super excited to be here today with Danielle Hawthorne, who is a personal success coach for women, and I just absolutely love her story. So, hey Danielle, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, Danielle, you and I were chatting before we started, so go ahead and dig in because I think your story is something that so many women can relate to.
Yeah. So my story kind of starts 2 years ago. I ended up getting out of an emotionally abusive relationship, and at that time, it took me to my own personal rock bottom. There were so many self-doubts, limiting beliefs going on. I really felt like I couldn't be the person that I wanted to be, and I couldn't have the life that I wanted to have. And I found myself believing a lot of the things that I had been told over the past several years. Um, and I really kind of just started spiraling downwards and just falling deeper, deeper into depression, just sad all the time, tired, just really not feeling like me, feeling like the person I want to be. Until one morning, I woke up and I had what I lovingly refer to as my oh shit moment, where I literally found myself laying there thinking like the only reason that I'm still here is because I couldn't bear to hurt the people that I love. And for me, that was the most terrifying thought that I've ever had in my entire life. I am a bubbly, happy person, and here I was like thinking something that I never even thought would like cross my mind. So in that moment, I knew that I needed to take action somehow, and I needed to create massive change in my life. And it needed to happen now, not tomorrow, not like the next day. It needed to happen right now. So for me, I literally had like an Elizabeth Gilbert moment where I literally was like, God, universe, powers that be, like I need to change. Something has to change right now. And I'm clearly not doing a very good job at this. So I need you to kind of guide me in the right direction here. And over the next 2 years, I went on this journey where I literally invested all of my time, a lot of my money, and I hired coach after coach, and I took all the courses I could get my hands on, and all the materials I could get my hands on, and I just worked on absorbing everything and finding the tools and techniques that helped me overcome all of those challenges and helped me find my way back to radical self-love. So that now when I wake up in the morning, I'm happy and excited again, and I don't have those scary thoughts crossing my mind.
Yeah, I love that. One of the things that's been fascinating as I've been interviewing all of these amazing coaches for Mindful March has been these commonalities of story. And I think, so many times as women, we give so much of ourselves into a relationship that we literally lose ourselves. And what happens is we start to have this story in our head, and our mindset totally changes based upon what the other person's been telling us, our dependency on the person, whatever that is. So why don't you talk a little bit about that mindset approach? Because I know that's so key in the work that you do.
No, absolutely. So as I was healing and I was going through these different techniques and exercises, I realized a majority of what I was experiencing was because of what I thought and the beliefs that I had allowed to become reality in my mind, my subconscious. So to your point, when you said, like, we give so much as women, we're constantly wanting to give because we're warm and we're loving and we're protective. I found myself doing that. I gave so much of myself that I literally emptied myself out. So all of my dreams, my beliefs, like they all went out the door, and I filled that back up with everything I was being told to believe versus what I truly believed about myself. So mindfulness for me really kicked in because I realized, like, in order to heal and to grow, I need to figure out where exactly these beliefs came from. Not only where they came from, but why I allowed them to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And that is 100% mind work, all of it.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna, take this course or whatever and fix it. You've got to do the work, and you've got to work through it in your mind because it's not gonna fix. It's not gonna go away until you do.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. So one of the definitions, the initial series of videos that come out is all about mindfulness that I do a quick training on. And I started doing this hand motion, and now it's stuck, right? And everybody's mocking me that has seen this video. So the way that I define mindfulness for Light Happy Life is awareness of what's going on in your thoughts, your words, your body, and your breath, right? So like everybody's like thoughts, words, body, and breath. I'm like, whatever. But it's so
I love that.
because it absolutely is. These are the signals. And sometimes we as women, we do so much and we give so much that we absolutely like forget about everything else and we ignore what's going on. So with that, so I know one of the things that I think is such a great approach that you do is you have these magic mindset lists, right? So tell me a little about that tool, because it's such a great tool, because we as women are often list makers, right? From the grocery list.
Absolutely. Type A right here.
To the to-do list, to whatever, right? As I'm looking at my calendar right now. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that, because I think this is a fun approach for those of us that are that type of person.
Absolutely. So I'm a firm believer that before you start trying to create change in your life, you got to figure out why you want that change, right? You need to figure out what it is that you actually want in your life and you want to invite in. Then you can go figure out what you need to change to get there.
Right.
So what I encourage people to do is come up with 3 different lists to start. 20 to 30 things in each list. And it's the I want to do, I want to have, and I want to be. And like, it takes time. Like, I've written these lists so many times, and I was telling you earlier, I literally go back to them today. Like, I'll read through them every single morning to remind myself why I'm doing the things that I do, like what I want to invite into my life. Like, these are lists that I use every single day. And I truly think that everybody should have these lists. Is once you start going through them and you write it out, like, not only did I realize that there were things that I wanted in my life that I had no idea that I wanted, like I also uncovered or overcame truths that I thought were truths, or, you know, lies that I thought were truths, that I didn't want in my life. And so it was fascinating for me when I first did this exercise, because I really kind of learned who I was again. And I started uncovering who I wanted to be. And that helped me set me on the right path. So whenever I started creating change, like, I had a direction, I had a goal, and I had the right mindset. I was focused on where I wanted to be. So I totally encourage that. And once you write those 3 lists down, write a list of what you love, like 20 to 30 things again of what you love in your life. Because when you have all of those, you can really go through, look at them and say, okay, what lights me up in life? Like, what brings me joy? What do I want to do? And then from those lists, you can figure it out. It's a lot easier than when you're staring at a blank sheet of paper going, what do I want to do with my life? What makes me happy?
Right. And sometimes too, like, vision boards are awesome, but like I can't find the right photos, right? Like in my Pinterest vision board, like, you know, it's just one of those things where sometimes it doesn't feel, it feels like a wish list, a Christmas list more than that. So when you were talking about this, I had this vision in my mind, and you may hate it, love it, because we didn't talk about this earlier, but I'm almost seeing like, you know, those photo collages that you put up on the wall, like, but one with 4 parts for do, have, be, and love. So you can look at it every day, right? It's like, put them up there, get them somewhere that you can see them, because that's such a great tool.
Yeah, no, I love that. I actually write what I call love notes to myself. And so if you walk around my house, I literally have like love notes everywhere, and it's from things on my list. Like, you know, say one of my things on my list is I want to have a healthy and fit body. So like on my refrigerator, I have a note that says, like, I feed my body with good and nutritious food. And it's little things like that that remind me throughout the day, even if it's not like I want to have a fit body, you know, it reminds me to like love myself, and it puts me in the right mindset and keeps me on track for all the things that I want to accomplish.
Yeah.
The goals I want to achieve.
Cool. So your freebie is a really awesome step-by-step program for 10 days, right?
Yes. So I call it the 10 days to create change challenge. So once you've done all those lists and you figured it out, you're probably wondering, like, where do I start? Like, how do we get this change going? So that's where the email challenge comes in. I've created 10 days of emails where I literally give you 10 days of different tools and techniques you can use to start creating that change, because not everything is going to work for everybody.
Right.
I know I have the ones that I love that really resonate with me and work for me. So that kind of will give you a jump start to being able to create that change.
Cool. So here's a question that I'm asking everybody that I've been interviewing for Mindful March. What is your secret to a light, happy life?
My secret, I would have to say commitment. That's a big one for me.
Nice.
It is commitment. Commitment to continually practicing all of the tools that I've used, and making sure that I implement it. Because so often I do things like at night, I write a gratitude list every single night to remind myself of what I'm grateful for. Even if it's just like, I'm grateful for the air that I breathed today because it kept me alive. I do things like that, and I make a commitment to doing them every single day, because they do take time. And sometimes, you know, you get tired or you're busy and you don't feel like you have the time to stop and like meditate or breathe or write your gratitude list or whatever it is. And I find that having that commitment keeps me in this happy place of like, oh yeah, like my life is awesome. I love my life. Look at all these wonderful things around me.
Yeah, that's great. I read somewhere that discipline is not a punishment. Discipline is freedom, right? Yeah. And so that's the same idea. It's all about creating, like, how do you create it? It's not this, it might be this loose life for what you want, but there's still things you have to do. And this personal work that you've done and dove into and now are sharing with so many other women it's work, right? And it's something that you need to keep up with. And so, so I really encourage anybody to sign up for your 10-day challenge, create your do, have, be, and love list. For your magic mindset
That's my mission. Everyone has to have one.
You have such a fun energy. Thank you so much for joining in, Danielle.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.